Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and it's a random destruction. We're up to number 45 now, and it's a bit of a black tank theme to this random destruction. We've got two in the T34 and one in the IS-6. Now I've done a lot of reviews recently, so I thought I'd put a random destruction in. I don't know, I think I need a break from doing reviews for a couple of days, so I've got a random destruction today, possibly another one tomorrow, or I might do something else altogether different. I'm not too sure yet. But like I say, we've got a bit of a black tank theme going on. Now these are, well, they're basically the same as the normal versions, just with the black paint job and 75% XP bonus instead of the usual 10 or 15% that whatever it'd get. And well, like I say, this is a T34, 4 rounds a minute, 248 pen and 400 damage on its 120mm gun. It's got 229mm of frontal turret armour with 127 on the side and 203 on the rear, which is quite good. And the hull armour is, well, it's basically the same as the T29, 102 on the front, 76 on the side, 51 on the rear. And this is on my PlayStation account. I bought the T34 when it was on offer the day before, no, sorry, the Monday before the black tanks came on. And basically raised a ticket to Wargaming to say, you know, I was a bit annoyed, blah blah blah, and you know, they sent one back saying, well, anybody who bought one of the tanks that was becoming a black tank from the 1st of November could have it swapped over, so here we are. And it was not a bad deal actually. I paid 9,600 for the T34 on sale. The T34 Black was supposed to be 14,000, then was dropped to 12.5 on sale, and the standard T34 is normally 12, but like I say, I paid 9,600. But I still only had to give the 500 extra gold from the price of the standard one to the on sale black one, so I actually only paid 10,100 for my T34 Black in the end. So not bad at all. Now I've come around the southern tip of the island. It's I forgot to say it's airfield, and it's a tier 9 match, standard battle. And obviously this is a tier 8, but no preferential matchmaking for this. It does see up to tier 10. Now I was lucky that the Motherland basically didn't even get through my tracks. He just sort of damaged the tracks. He wouldn't have done a great deal of damage, but you know, any damage is still damage. So now I'm going to try and focus him down. A lot of our team have gone up into the sort of hills just to the south of the airfield. Now I've taken a hit from that Motherland there in the hull, I would imagine. Or is he going for the commander's hatch? He might have hit the commander's hatch before. And I'm going to try and get round on him. It's got very good gun depression, as you'd expect for an American tank. They all tend to have very good gun depression. In fact, I can't think of one that doesn't, to be honest. He's managed to track me. Now, oh, that's the Motherland taken care of. I have got, like I say, well, as you can see, coal on here. I've also got, in fact, no, I've not got Brothers in Arms on this crew, but I have got the gun rammer, I think, on here, but no vents. This crew is actually a crew with no skills, I think. Repairs was nearly full, maybe about 70 odd percent, 80%. And it was actually a crew I was training up for something else, and with this having the 75% XP bonus, why not use it? So I've now managed to, like I say, take care of the Motherland, and I've come round on this T32. And where they were holding off our team, it looked like they were using the ground to get hull down. And there's the other T32, and I've got a good flanking shot right into his side. And I'm going to go for the engines to try and set him on fire, but it doesn't, it just leaves him on a small slither of health. There we go, sliver of health even. Yeah, the T32's health is slithering away. Right, that's him dealt with. Now we have got quite a decent lead on the enemy team as well. It's 7-2 in our favour. And I'm just wondering where to go. I was actually just thinking I could get a shot at that T10 by trying to prop myself up there, but not quite far enough. So I think I'm going to reposition. I could have gone for the cap, but I think I'm just going to reposition and go after that T10. Try and get him in a bit of flanking fire. He's got our teammates on the other side of him. He's got me on this side. And he's pretty much in a bad situation. Can I finish him off? Yeah, I do. I thought somebody else was going to take the killing blow then. Oh, can I finish off this T32 as well? No, the IS-6 has got in the way. Oh, there we go. No. Poorly aimed. Bounced off his turret. And now there's one heavy tank left, but whereabouts is he? I think the best thing to do here would basically be head for cap. He's either going to have to come out to defend cap, or some of the team are going to find him as they come round, and then I can probably try and move in and do something about it. In fact, it looks like the rest of our team seem to be sort of heading for cap. There he is. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to get him to actually do anything before the rest of the team do. But I'm still going to try.
We're capturing the enemy base.
Straight through the cap, and I think, if I remember rightly, it's a Conqueror that's left. No, I'm not too sure. I think it is anyway. But I quite like the T34. I've been wanting one for a while. A lot of people don't like its slow rate of fire, and it's, you know, it's pretty immobile, but I like it. I get on with it. And you can make that rate of fire work, and it's got good alpha damage to go with it. So, you know, it's not as though you've got a really crap rate of fire and really low damage as well. Now, 89,000 silver, but don't forget I do have the premium consumable on there. I have got loads of first aid kits, so that hasn't come out. Just over 3,000 damage done with a sniper medal and a second class mastery. And top of the table in a tier 9 match, which is always nice. It's always nice when you come top of the table, but it's especially nice when you weren't top tier and you still come top of the table. So, quite happy with that match. Now, I've broken it up a little bit. We've not got two T34s in a row. We've got the IS-6 review next, and then the last T34 one is at the end. Right, so here we are for the second match, tier 8 match. I'm in the tier 8 Russian premium heavy tank, the IS-6, and it's on Lakeville, and it's a standard battle. And this one was from a few days ago, and this one is actually on the Xbox One. Now, the IS-6, it's got the standard Russian 122mm gun, 175 pen, 390 average damage with a 5.13 rounds a minute rate of fire. The hull armour is 100 on the front, 100 on the sides, 60 on the rear, and the turret armour is 150 front and sides and 100 on the rear, and its armour can be quite trolly. It can bounce shots that you'd expect to penetrate, and also vice versa. So it's yeah, it's just a bit of a troll tank with its armour, to be honest, and it's, you know, it's fairly nippy as well. It sort of goes along at a fair old rate. It's got a 35 km/h speed limit, and it doesn't seem to have much trouble getting up to it, so I was quite pleasantly surprised by how mobile this heavy is. Now, I think I'd only been in this a couple of times at this point. I'd been sort of concentrating on a couple of the other tanks, but I quite like this. It's the one that, I don't know, it's not the one that it's not to say that I wasn't looking forward to trying it out. I think that's wrong, but it's that gun, that 175mm. It's tier 8. It does get premium matchmaking, so it only does, you know, it only sees up to tier 9. But I've got the 112, which is same, you know, same tier matchmaking, same gun, and sometimes that gun is just not very good in tier 8 matches or tier 9. It can be quite horrible in tier 9 with that 175 pen, but like I say, I was quite pleasantly surprised by this. And even though it's got the same pen, I think the gun seems to behave itself a little bit more, so you do tend to hit where you're aiming a bit more, which means that you pen more often than not. And I'm just trying to get it's a bit of a funny angle, but I'm trying to get that weak spot on top of the IS-3's turret. Now, while I'm manoeuvring a bit, because I'm trying to get to a better position to shoot at that IS-3 because he's a bit higher up than me, so I don't have a shot on that weak spot. I've just seen that coming onto the store tomorrow is the Chinese premium light tank, the TS6 I think it is, the Type 64. It's coming on in a couple of bundles, I think a fully loaded and a loaded, so that may be the video tomorrow. I've had that one for a while. It's not a bad little light tank actually. The description of it is slightly wrong in the tech tree. I think it says it's got the M1A1 gun, but it doesn't. It does in fact have the M1A2 gun. But it's a hull of a tank. I can't remember which tank it is, but it's not in the game. And then it's essentially the Hellcat turret, I think it is, with the M1A2 gun from the Easy 8. Now I've managed to hit the IS-3, but didn't pen. I was trying to go for either the lower plate, and I was just about to go for the tracking shot there, so I could at least get some tracking damage. But somebody else did, but I managed to pen the lower plate anyway. Now there's Type 59 over there. I don't think I'll get through his turret. Not the front anyway, it's 200mm. A VK3001P. He's trying to get away, but I managed to get him through the archways. And that's when the Type 59, I think he was coming up to have a go, but he doesn't have the gun depression to get down, and he thought better of it. And the poor little Type 58, well, he came around the corner sideways and took a big old hit. I tracked him, and yeah, he's about to go back to the garage. Almost felt sorry for him then. That Type 59's still milling about in the town. And I don't really trust him, and I've got a feeling he's going to come up behind us, and I think that IS-3, yeah, the IS-3 thought the same thing, and indeed he just popped out of that street there, so I was going to go around behind him, but then there's a Churchill 7 coming up the street. I managed to pen his side, and he bounces off my upper plate. Like I say, 100mm on the front, 100 on the sides, but the front is very well angled on this. Oh, took a hit from the Rheinmetall Borsig though. I don't want to take too many of those. Bit of a hasty return fire. And yeah, I just dunked it into something. Now that Type 59 looks like he's making a run for Artie and our cap. So we've got to try and do something about him. Now I know there's a couple of guys in the town. I start taking a hit from an AT-15 out on the road. And I've got to try and keep a bit of cover on my left hand side from that AT-15. But the Type 59, he seems to be keeping the buildings between me and him. I don't know if that's intentional or just the route he was taking, but somebody killed him. So now it's a case of turning around, trying to deal with whatever was in the town. There was that Rheinmetall Borsig, but he looked like he was backing off. And there's a couple of tank destroyers. The heavy's up at the end of the road. I'm pretty sure the AT-15 is, or was, on the road somewhere, although whether it'll still be there now, I'm not too sure. And it's the Rheinmetall Borsig that I'm worried about. It was on the very eastern road in the town. It doesn't seem to be there. I'm just taking it cautious, keeping an eye out. I've put myself behind the church. So he's going to have to come around in front of me, and if he goes around behind, the IS-3 should spot him. And I think, well, it must have the back of that IS-6. Because if that's the front, I am quite surprised I'm penning it at this distance. Although it did look like I got the front. And the AT-15's dealt with as well, so now it's down to a lonely Hummel. And I bet he's not feeling too brave at the moment. And that Borsig, who, well, they're sneaky, and they're quite quick. So he could really be anywhere between here and the cap. He could have even snuck round the town and gone a different way and just not been spotted and be heading for our cap, but nope. There he is. Yeah, he's pulled back behind that hill. I wouldn't really call it a mountain. It might be a very, very small mountain or a representation, but yeah. let's call it hill for now. Yeah, he's pulled back behind there. The IS-3's gone around the front. I'll try and intercept him around the back, but it's whether I can get there in time, because obviously they'll be lit up for the guys up near the cap and coming down from that way. And there you go, the artillery that came through the valley finished him off.
Best job I ever had.
So not a bad little round, although I have got that bonus thing where I get ×2 for my for XP and silver. I think it's on my wins. Didn't come top. The little Bert, the FV304, came top, and yeah, I don't mind losing out to Bert. I'm quite happy with that. So it looks like he had a pretty decent game. Little tier 6 arty in a tier 8 match. So well done to him. Bert's a legend. And we've just got one more replay coming up for you, and it's back in the T34 Black Edition. Right, so here we are, it's Arctic region. Like I say, back in the T34 Black. I'm not going to bother with the stats again because I've been through that once already in this video. And it's a standard battle, and it's a tier 10 match. So I am bottom tier in this one. But it doesn't really bother me when I'm in the T34. I know the hull is not, it's definitely not going to stand up to tier 10 guns. It doesn't stand up to tier 9. In fact, it's from a tier 7 heavy. So it doesn't really stand up to some of the tier 7 tanks, hull-wise. But turret-wise, hull down, using the gun depression, hiding that lower plate, increasing the angle of the upper plate. Yeah, this can stand up to some tier 10s and tier 9s. I don't know about up close and personal. It's 229 on the front of the turret, as opposed to the T29's 279 and the T32's 298. So, it's not quite as physically thick, but it does have the layers. Obviously, you've got the gun mantle, which is very thick, and then you've got sort of bits of armour behind it. So definitely, I would have said at medium to long range, you could hold up. Well, to be honest, I don't think I've had anything put a shell through the front of my turret yet. Possibly through the cheeks of it, maybe. But I don't think I've had anything through the front, not through the gun mantle. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's one of those tanks that you can feel quite confident in tier 9 or 10 matches. And definitely in tier 8. Right, we've got the IS-7 making a run for it. I managed to get a good one into his side. I'm going to back off, and I just want to make sure I don't back off too far and fall down this small ravine into the water, because that would be a very poor start to the match. But it's a good position here if they have pushed far around this corner, which sometimes do. And if I come, if I start at the other side and I'm quick enough, I like to sometimes go up where the IS-7 is, although I've tried to do it in something with good gun depression, so I can use it from up there, provide a bit of cover. But if you're on the receiving end of that, then if you've got good gun depression, this is as good a place as any to go to. Now, managed to get hit in the leopard as he came round, and he's trying to make another push round now. There he goes. Put a shot into him. And no, I didn't quite finish him off. I think the tank destroyer next to me did. Or is it another heavy tank behind me? I can't quite tell from the map there. Well, yeah, heavy, possibly. Oh well, anyway, that IS-7, well, he's going to have to expose quite a bit of his tank to get his gun down to shoot at us. And I managed to get another one through his side, as he does. And I think he took a hit from something else as well. And the M103 keeps working the corner against this IS-4. He's got away with it so far. Just trying to get a hit on him, but I didn't want to go too far around there. So I've just got a feeling that there's going to be something further back around, what is it, B4 possibly. And I did manage to get a hit into him then. And I think, I'm pretty confident now that there's nothing over in B4. But it's just that I-7 I've got to keep an eye on. So I don't mind going and popping another hit into the M103. But I've just got to keep an eye on this guy. Can I get his lower plate? I can. Managed to pen, and he bounced. Did he bounce off my turret then? It looked like he did. Although it came up as though I'd taken damage. I think, isn't it normally black when it's a bounce? Oh, I think what's happened is it's gone through the gun mantle and got absorbed in the sort of spaced armour behind it. Because even if it gets absorbed by spaced armour, I think it still comes up as though it's done damage. Now there's something over towards B4 and it's Tiger 2. He's in a good position, he's not showing much from, not giving us much to shoot at. The IS-7's taking a bit of a beating from me and this Japanese super heavy, and he's trying to retreat, but he's got to cross open ground to do it. So I think he's pretty much stuck at the minute. Black Tiger 2 is making it difficult for us, but he's just taken a big hit from something. Possibly our artillery, and then something else put a hit in for 248. I was just looking at the map, it could have possibly been that light tank. The M103 is tracked, and he, yeah, just gets his tracks up in time. I was just waiting to make sure it went in, waiting for that aim circle to shrink, and I should have pulled the trigger a bit sooner. But I thought I had him, but he must have, well, I don't know if his tracks went back up or if he just saw me aiming and thought, no, bugger that, repair kit, pull back. Now I don't want to go around the corner. And I take a hit from an IS-7, and from that IS-7, I actually thought he was dead. And yeah, Artie gave me a massive whack as well. And that's left me in a very poor state. I think I've just had to fix my ammo rack and heal my loader. Yeah, not happy about that. Now I was just checking that the Tiger 2 was dead. I'd not noticed that it's just tank destroyers and artillery left at the top of the screen. And yeah, then I looked up and realised, and that's why I decided to move out, because, well, he's not there anymore, he's dead. And now it's just a case of finding those tank destroyers, hoping they're looking the other way, because, like I say, I am not in a very good position, health-wise. Now we've got Rheinmetall Borsig. We had a Rheinmetall Borsig. He's just been taken care of. I think I've just seen one of the artillery who will probably be relocating now. There's one of them. There's the tank destroyers, checking what's left, and unfortunately it's a Jag Tiger and a T110E3, I think it was. So I don't think it could have been much worse. Jag Tiger is very heavily armoured from the front with a very big gun, and the T110E3 is very heavily armoured from the front with a big gun. Now I'm not sure, but the way they've got themselves positioned, it almost looks like they're trying to cover the approaches sort of back to back across a bit of a distance. Although what looks like, I think that's the American one. He's got a tank destroyer in front of him, a medium behind him, so he's not in a very good position. Because like the Jag Tiger, it's very tough from the front, very soft in the sides and rear. And I'm just wondering if I can get down here to do any more damage this match. It's not been too bad. I never have overly high expectations when I'm in tier 10 matches, but I do feel more confident in the T34 than some tanks when I get into tier 10 matches. And that's mostly because it's got good penetration to get through those, to get through the tanks. And if in doubt, you know, stay at sort of medium range, try and get a hull down if you can, and you should be alright in this. And there we go, that's the match. So not a bad little match, sorry. Quite a fun little fight for that corner, and then just a case of sort of mopping up, but that was pretty much me out of the fight once we got off that corner. But yeah, quite happy with that one. Came top of the table in a tier 10 match, which is always nice when you're bottom tier. What's that? 2,686 damage done. So not too bad, not the most damage I've done in it, but I'm quite happy with that. And there you go. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode, and as always, take care out there, and I will catch you next time. See you later.